It was late summer night, about 11:30 p.m. in August 1974. I was about 17 years old at the time. I was driving to my home in Nace, Virginia, which is located between Troutville and Buchanan. I was coming home from my girlfriend's house in Salem on Route 11, passing through Troutville. Coming into Troutville, I had noticed some relatively low lights and thought it might be a plane making an approach to the Woodrum Field in Roanoke. All of a sudden, I realized that the lights didn't seem to be moving, and I began to slow down until I came to a dead stop right in the middle of town, in front of the old Troutville Elementary School. That's when I noticed a dark triangular craft about 150 feet right above me, with a bright light on each corner. My anxiety was rising fast, and I felt the hair on my arms and neck standing up. I rolled down my window on my '63 Oldsmobile and leaned very far out and looked straight up. I was immediately impressed at the size of this craft, and it was at least as long and wide as a football field. I also noticed there was no engine, no motor sounds, but only a deep humming from the craft. It was so intense that I could actually feel the humming in my body. Now, I was completely at a loss as to what I was seeing or what I should do. I had a weapon in the car, and a quick thought passed through my mind that I should get it, but thankfully that went away quick as it come. This was when the fear crept in, and I realized how actually close to this craft I was, and there had been no cars coming from either direction in the short time that all of this had transpired. Erratic thoughts started racing through my mind. Would he try to hurt me? Or even worse, try to take me? I quickly ducked back into my car and rolled the window up, stepped on the gas. Actually, I floored it and exited Troutville heading north on Route 11 towards my home in Nace. Now, my '63 Oldsmobile was what I called a tank due to its size and being made up almost completely steel. Route 11 is a 4-lane highway there, 2 lanes in each direction, and I had pegged the speedometer at 120 miles an hour, and I was cutting corners. I could see that the craft was still very low and right behind me, following as I sped along. I was very frightened. When I came to the turnoff on my right to go to Nace on a back road, I noticed another car coming from the opposite direction. We passed one another as I slowed down to turn off Route 11, and the other car was proceeding toward Troutville. It was now that I noticed the craft had stopped following me and was following the other car back toward Troutville. While I was glad it was no longer following me, my fear had yet subsided. I continued to speed the rest of the way home. Upon entering the front door of my house, I saw that my mom and dad were still up and immediately noticed the state I was in. I told them what had happened, and I was sure they was going to think I was nuts, but Dad said he had seen several things in the sky out where we lived, and he was really not surprised at my story. 48 years have passed since that night, and I still remember it like it happened last night. I went on to spend 20 years in the Army and only shared this story with about 10 people in that amount of time. I never talked about it a lot because I didn't want to get the looks and hear the comments that I feared would come my way. I have made the judgment as to whether or not this craft was alien or just something from another world or something from this world. I personally believe it was something from another world. The government of our country has finally admitted there are UFOs, but they really have not commented any further. I believe they know very much more about these things, but for some reason, they don't want to share them with the American people. Before this, I was not a believer, but now that they are out there, I wish they were informed of everything ours other governments know, but that may not happen in my lifetime. But I still watch the sky, and always will.
Man, that one's a super, super story.
Man, that really is. I mean, golly. That's just one of them experiences, you don't even expect to hear.
Yeah. Um, hmm. I don't know what I would do in that situation. Honestly, that's nuts. Um, it does kind of remind me of the whole UFO incident that happened near me in Withville, Virginia, but that was in '87. There were triangular UFOs like that. And then also we had another story in '87 in Shawsville, Virginia, which I think is closer to Troutville than Withville, maybe, but
Ah,
it's sort of the same area, that something was going on. Um, man,
man, that's
they were all triangular shaped UFOs, just like this one. I wish I could have witnessed this without having the UFO know about me. I bet
right,
that'd
right.
be insane.
Oh man, wouldn't it though? To be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
It's
Could you
like,
imagine how
man.
he felt? Wow.
I mean, yeah, just the shock, the fear, the confusion. Your mind trying to comprehend what you're seeing.
Yeah. And I hadn't heard from him in a while, but he'd email back and forth with me, like a year or 2 years later after I got this started. Oh, I'm still watching you. So he's one of the first. That and the lady that sent the Whistler story were amongst some of the first people that started listening.
Man,
Yeah, they're still with me.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm eternally grateful to these people who've stuck with me
Exactly,
this whole
man.
time.
Yeah, a lot of folks, from I've said the same thing a million times about folks on my channel, and you have too. Folks really don't know. I mean, just how much we truly do appreciate them.
I try my best to reply to every single comment I see. I definitely
Yeah,
do on YouTube. But I mean,
yeah.
on the other social media platforms, it starts to get hard sometimes. But
Man, there's not enough time in the day, and a lot of folks don't realize that is us as creators, how much time we spend, making this content, getting it ready to put up, making more content, planning stuff out, and we try to make sure we reply to all the comments, in the comment sections, but to do that and reply to comments from all the social media platforms, man, there's not enough time in the day.
yeah, I mean, we're not we don't hate you. It's just
We just
it's
don't have
hard.
time. We try to get to
Yeah,
as many as possible, but
but yeah. But big thanks to Cliff who sent this in. Big thanks to Jared for reading. Let us know what you think of the story in the comments. And if you didn't,
definitely.
make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this out with all your friends.
Absolutely, folks.
And thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one.
God bless and have a good one.